Level 1. The Backyard Kid. You are 8 years old. You play in the cul-de-sac until the streetlights come on. You play with a ball that is half flat. You play with 2 trash cans for a goal. You play at recess. You play after school. You play in the rain. In America, every other kid your age is picking up a football or a basketball. You pick the one nobody on your street understands. Your dad coached your first team. A Saturday rec league. Orange slices at halftime. You scored 4 goals in your first game. The other parents noticed? Your dad pretended not to be proud. He was very proud. A man stood on the sideline one cold morning. He wore a tracksuit with a club crest. He had a clipboard. He watched you for the whole game. He did not cheer. He just wrote things down. He handed your dad a card afterward. It bore the badge of a real soccer club, a development academy. They wanted you to train. Your dad did not sleep that night. Neither did you. You went to the tryout on a Tuesday. There were 60 other kids. Every one of them was the best player in his town. And you realized something standing on that field. You were not special here. You were ordinary here. That terrified you. So you ran harder than everybody else. You chased every ball. You scored in the final scrimmage. A coach put his hand on your shoulder and told you to come back next week. That is how it started. Level 2. The Academy and the cost of getting in. You are 10. The Academy is 90 minutes away. There is no closer one. This is the part nobody tells you about American soccer. It is not the cheapest sport. It is one of the most expensive. The club fees, the travel teams, the hotels for out-of-state tournaments, the gas. Your family is not rich. Your dad drives you 90 minutes each way, 3 times a week. He eats dinner cold in the car. He works Saturdays to cover the club fees. He never complains once. Your younger brother sits in the back seat. He plays too. He is nearly as good as you. Nearly. You do not know it yet. That word is going to decide both your lives. You train with kids whose parents wrote bigger checks. It does not matter on the field. The ball does not know who is rich. That is the one thing you learn to love about this sport. It is the great equalizer. You are measured in touches, not dollars. Your first coach who matters is a man named Reyes. He played pro once, in a league that does not exist anymore. He says very little. One day, you lose the ball trying something fancy. A move you saw on a highlight reel. And you get scored on. Reyes does not yell. Reyes says quietly, the highlight is the last 10%. The other 90 is what you do when nobody films it. Control the ball. Then you can decorate it. Control it first. Decorate it later. You will hear his voice say that for the next 20 years. Level 3. The fork in the road. College or pro. You are 17. In most countries, the path is simple. You sign with a club or you disappear. In America, you get a choice nobody else in the world gets. And it nearly tears you in half. Door 1. A college scholarship. A free education. 4 years. The safe path. The path your mother wants, because your mother has watched too many boys bet everything on a ball and end up with nothing. Door 2. Sign a homegrown contract with the MLS Academy you came up in. Turn pro at 17. Skip college. Bet your whole life on the game right now. Your brother does not get the choice. The club released him at 15. He took it hard. You did not know what to say to him. You still trained while he watched it end. A wall went up between you two. Neither of you mentioned it. You sit at the kitchen table with your dad. He has driven you 10,000 miles by now. He does not tell you what to choose. He says one thing. I drove you this far so you would have the choice I never did. Whatever you pick it. Not me, not your mom, you. You sign the homegrown deal. Your mother keeps the pen. She still has it in a drawer, wrapped in tissue, next to a photo of you in your first rec league jersey. She watched you sign, and she did not smile. She knew it was the beginning of something that would take you far from her. Level 4. The Reserve. Stuck between worlds. You are 19. You signed your first pro contract. The number made your hand shake. It was more than your dad made in a year. You gave him some of it. He tried to refuse. You insisted. You owed him every mile. You train with the first team most mornings. The senior pros are faster than anything you have ever felt. The game moves at a speed that scares you. A half second of hesitation and the ball is gone. You make mistakes, the manager shouts. The veterans say nothing. Which is worse? You play for the second team in the evenings. Half-empty stadiums, a few hundred fans. Scouts in the stands with clipboards. You are stuck between two worlds. Too good for the academy. Not ready for the first team. That gap swallows a lot of American players. You watch some of them quit. You watch some go back to school. You watch a kid who was better than you at 16 working at a sporting goods store at 20. The club keeps telling you your time will come if you are patient. Patience is the hardest thing to ask of a young man who can see his whole career slipping past. You met a girl that year. She worked at a coffee shop near the training ground. She did not know who you were. That was why you liked her. Everyone else only saw the player. She saw the nervous kid ordering coffee. The manager pulled you aside one day. He told you the truth. You were too raw. You needed real minutes. He was loaning you out. A lower division. A town you had never heard of. You packed one suitcase. She drove you to the airport. Level 5. The Loan, where boys become men. You are 20. The town was small. The crowd was rough. The locker room smelled like liniment and old turf. The players were nothing like the academy kids. They were grown men. Men with mortgages. Men with kids to feed. For them, soccer was not a dream. It was the job that paid the bills. They did not care about your draft buzz or your highlight tape. They cared whether you would track back and fight. You got kicked all over the field in your first game. The ref gave nothing. The crowd laughed at the academy kid. You came home and sat in an ice bath, shivering, and you almost asked to go home. You did not. Reyes's voice was in your head. Control it first. You scored your first pro goal in October, an ugly one, off your shin, from 2 yards. It did not matter how it went in. The whole team mobbed you. The crowd that had laughed now sang your name. An old striker took you aside. He taught you things no academy coach ever mentioned. How to hold the ball with your back to the goal and 3 guys hitting you. How to win a foul. How to score when your legs are dead. This was real soccer. Every result mattered to somebody. A win bonus paid for a teammate's kid's school shoes. You stopped being a boy with a dream. You became a teammate. The loan was supposed to last 3 months. It lasted the whole season. You finished as the team's top scorer. Your parent club watched all of it. They called you back for preseason. They said you had grown up. Your girlfriend met you at the airport. She barely recognized the man who got off the plane. Level 6. The Breakthrough. You are 22. Preseason went better than you dared hope. The loan had hardened you. The manager named you on the bench for the opening game. A full stadium. The cameras, the lights. In the 17th minute, he called your name. Your legs felt like water. You jogged onto the field in front of a roaring crowd. The noise hit you like a wall. You did not hide. You demanded the ball. You played the way you did as a kid in the cul-de-sac. Free. Fearless. You made your first start a month later. You scored. A low drive into the corner. You wheeled away and pointed at the sky. Your dad was in the stands. He was crying. He hugged you so hard in the players' lot afterward that it hurt. He could not speak. He did not need to. Both of you knew what those drives had bought. You became a regular by winter. Kids started wearing your name. The girl from the coffee shop is your fiancée now. She kept you grounded. She reminded you who you were before the noise. You watched a teammate sign a big deal and vanish into nightclubs and a fast car within a season. You wanted longevity, not headlines. Your brother came to a game sometimes. He stood in the crowd that chanted your name. You always bought his ticket. You wanted him there. Even though a part of you knew it must have hurt him to watch. He had been nearly as good as you. And nearly is the loneliest word in this sport. Level 7, the call-up. You are 24. You are one of the best Americans in the league now, and there is one phone call every American player waits for their whole life. It comes on an ordinary Tuesday. The United States men's national team, the senior squad, your country. You read the email 3 times before you believed it. You called your dad before anyone else. He could barely get the words out. You made your debut that fall. You pulled the shirt over your head in the tunnel, the crest, the flag on your chest, the anthem played. You stood with your hand over your heart. Every cul-de-sac game, every 90-minute drive, every ice bath, every cold dinner your dad ate in that car, all of it led to this. And the timing of your life could not be bigger. Because the World Cup is coming, and for the first time since 1994, it is being played in the United States. Home soil. Your country. The biggest tournament on earth, in your own backyard, in stadiums 2 hours from where you grew up. Every kid who plays this sport in America dreams of one thing. You are 90 minutes of football away from it. Level 8. The World Cup, home soil. You are 26. You made the squad. The whole country, for one summer, is finally paying attention to the sport you gave your life to. The sport they ignored when you were 8. The billboards, the flags on the cars. Kids in the cul-de-sacs with your number on their backs. You start the opening game in front of 80,000 people and millions more at home who are watching soccer for the very first time. The anthem, the flag, your mother is in the stands with both hands over her mouth. Your fiancé, your wife now, beside her. Your son on her lap in a tiny version of your shirt. Your dad is not there. He passed the winter before. The drives had aged him. The years had aged him. He had the Academy Scout's old business card in his wallet when he went. Soft and worn from being carried for 16 years. You realize he had been chasing this dream with you the entire time, mile after mile, never once asking for thanks. You score in the group stage, on home soil, in a World Cup, in front of your country. You do not celebrate with the team first. You point at the sky. The whole stadium, 80,000 people who mostly learned this game last week, stands and roars for a sport their country spent 100 years overlooking. And you understand, in that moment, what the love of a nation actually is. Enormous and conditional, given freely tonight. It could be taken back just as fast. You do not let yourself think about that yet. Tonight, you are the face of a country's hope. Level 9. The weight of a nation. Still 26. The same tournament. The knockout rounds. A giant European club came calling after the group stage. A stadium like a cathedral. Wages that frightened you a little. You will deal with that after the summer. Because right now your country is still alive in its own World Cup, and the whole thing rests on games like the one you are about to play. You go deep into the tournament. Further than the United States has gone in a generation. The country that did not care now cannot look away. Bars overflowing. Schools are letting kids watch. A whole nation that suddenly speaks the language you have spoken your whole life. And then it comes down to a single moment. The way it always seems to in this sport. A penalty. A knockout game. The weight of the entire country on one kick. You step up. You have taken 1,000 of these. Alone. On empty fields. In the dark. After everyone else went home. You miss. A whole nation grieves at once. The same fans who sang your name send messages you cannot bring yourself to open. The highlight of your miss plays on every screen in the country for a week. You learn what it costs to carry a nation's hope. The bill comes due all at once. You wonder if one missed penalty will follow you for the rest of your life. And then you hear Reyes's voice, the old one, from a field 30 years ago. The highlight is the last 10%. The other 90% is what you do when nobody films it. The miss is the 10% everyone saw. The career is the 90% they did not. You hold on to that one. Level 10, the legend, and the next kid. You are 42. You coach now. You played in Europe for years after that World Cup. You win things. You captain your country again. You make the next World Cup. And you go further. The miss did not define you. It was just the loudest single night. Then your body gave out, the way everybody does. You hung your cleats on a hook in an academy office. You did not throw them away. You could not. They had carried you around the world. Now you run a youth academy in America, a club where kids chase a dream their country finally understands. Because of that summer, the World Cup came home. The summer they all started watching. Some of them know your name. Most are too young to have seen you play. That does not bother you. It humbles you. The cheering always faded the moment you stopped being useful. You learned that young. You stand on a cold sideline on a Saturday morning. You hold a clipboard now. You write things down. You do not cheer. You watch. You are the man you met when you were 8 years old, standing exactly where he once stood. You see a kid run harder than the rest. You see him chase every ball. You see him try a fancy move and lose it. And you see the look on his face. You know that hunger. You know exactly what it will cost him. You walk over. You do not tell him about the ice baths, or the loneliness, or the penalty, or the way a whole country can love you and drop you in the same week. You just crouch down, and you say, "Control it first, then you can decorate it." He nods, not really understanding. He will. You drive some of the kids home after training. Their parents thank you, with cold dinners waiting in the car. You remember those dinners. You remember that man. You wish he could see you now, doing for others what he did for you. Your son plays for a rival academy. He is good, nearly as good as you were. Nearly. You hope, more than anything, that word does not break him the way it broke your brother. Your wife still keeps your medals in a drawer. Beside them is an old pen and an old half-flat ball. You do not need trophies on the wall. The game lives in your hands, your knees, your scars. Somewhere in America right now, a World Cup is being played on home soil. And somewhere in a cul-de-sac 2 hours from the nearest stadium, a kid is playing with a half-flat ball. Trash cans for goalposts. The streetlights are coming on. A parent watches from a doorway, daring to dream. The kid does not know what is coming. The drives, the ice baths, the cuts that never get easier, the glory and the grief that wait at the top. He just knows that on his television tonight, for the first time, his whole country is watching the sport he loves. He will learn the rest. They always do. The cycle continues.